Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And if you're watching this after Valentine's Day, then happy belated Valentine's Day. It's on a day like this, or a prom, or a birthday, that people are going to pressure you to have sex. And especially if you're a Catholic, or you're a Christian, or you're just someone who wants to save sex until marriage. You want to wait for your soulmate, for that person who's pledged their life to you and has given you the happily ever after thumbs up. You're waiting and saving yourself, and that's a good thing. That's a great thing, and you should be proud of that. But there are many people who don't care about you. They don't care about your sexuality. They don't care about your gift that you want to save, and they really just will do anything to get that gift from you. And in this video, I'm going to give you some rebuttals, some things you can say to respond to people who pressure you to have sex or to go farther than you're comfortable with. Hey everyone, my name is Brian Mercier. I'm a professional Catholic speaker and I speak on a lot of faith issues and love and relationships. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how to respond to people who pressure you to go further than you're comfortable with or to have sex. And let's be honest, right off the bat, before we even get to these little responses, people who pressure you and just want sex for themselves, they don't actually love you. They don't love you. They don't care for you because they only care for themselves. They're selfish. They're only trying to get what they want. They don't respect you. They don't respect your beliefs. And you should basically kiss them goodbye if you have the opportunity. But if you want to stay strong and you want to stand your ground and you want to wait for that happily ever after moment, these are the responses, the little beauties that you can use to stay true and to save yourself for your future love. Now, most of these, since I'm a guy and usually guys are the ones pressuring ladies, this is going to be from a guy's point of view. Guys are giving the actual pressure, and this is responses for how the ladies should respond. Yes, I wrote them out for you. But of course, as we know, this can go both ways, and pressure can go both ways. So if that's the case, reverse it. Here we go. Number one, if you really love me, you would have sex with me. You can respond by saying, if you love me, then you will respect my beliefs and you won't pressure me into it. See, a lot of times people try to put pressure on you, but you can reverse that, turn it around, and give it back to them. You don't always have to be on the defensive. Some might respond with this one. Well, everyone else has done it by now. Which you can respond to, well, if everyone else has done it by now, then you shouldn't have a problem finding someone else to do it with. And then they might pressure you even more and say, yeah, but all of our friends have done it. Then you say, well, go join them. Go have fun with them. The divorce rates for people who have sex before marriage are up to 70%. You might want to be a statistic of divorce. I don't. I am waiting. The next one, somebody might say, well, sweetie, this is something that I want to share between us. I want it to be really special. That's something you and I do together. And you can respond to that by saying, me too, I really do. But I really want it to be when you put a ring on my finger, when you've made a lifelong vow of commitment to me, and when we have a ceremony in a church. That will be the right time, and I really can't wait for that to happen. Do you love me that much, sweetie? Am I worth the wait? Wink, wink. Now someone might respond by saying, well, you're going to do it someday anyway, so why not? And you could respond by saying, yes, I am going to do it someday with the right person, at the right time, in the right place, in marriage, with my soulmate, and for the sake of love. Someone might say, as long as we use protection, nothing bad's going to happen. You could respond, oh really? Sin happens every time, and sin hurts our relationship with God. Did you know that most diseases are not protected with the birth control pill, and there are some diseases that aren't protected by almost anything? That's not very protective. Either way, can you protect my mind? Can you protect my heart? And can you protect my soul before God? That's true protection, and that's the kind of man I'm looking for. Now, somebody might respond and say, nobody waits anymore, and nobody saves themselves for marriage anymore. And you could say, well, actually they do, and I do, and I'm choosing to wait. Can you respect that? See how you turn that around? You put them in a yes or no position to say, yes, I respect you, or no, I don't. And if people keep pressuring you to have sex, then they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, then they don't love you. It is really that simple. Expert advice, Simple advice. It's that simple. A guy might come up to you and keep pressuring you and say something like, well, nobody's going to find out. I won't tell. You could say, God's going to find out. That's somebody. Speaking of God, somebody might use God against you and say that, well, God just wants us to be happy. God wants us to be happy. And you can respond, yes, he does. He wants us to be married happily ever after. But more importantly, you could say, God wants us to be holy. God wants us to be holy. That's much more important to God, and sin does not make us holy. And in fact, this sin, the sex before marriage, is actually one of the biggest sins against God. And in the Bible, it says it's one of the things that can keep us from heaven. So it's really important to me to save myself and to keep my friendship and my relationship with God. They may respond, well, don't you love me? And you can reply, don't you love me? Do you love me enough to respect me? Do you love me enough to respect my beliefs and who I am and what I stand for and what I'm looking for in life? If not, I could safely say that you don't love me. See how you turn that around? They're pressuring you and making it seem like, oh, you don't love me if you don't have sex with me. Where you could just flip that upside down and say, you don't love me because you are pressuring me to have sex and you don't respect my beliefs. The fact that I've already told you that I want to wait and that I'm saving myself for marriage. You just want what you want and you don't care about me. That's called selfishness, and selfish love isn't really love. I love people who try to control others and they threaten them and they give all these passive aggressive motives like, oh, if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to dump you. This is one of the easiest ones to respond to. You could just say, okay, bye. Or you could flip that around and be like, well, it's clear to me that you don't love me, so I'm hereby dumping you. Goodbye. And all of a sudden they're going to turn around and be like, no, wait, I'm sorry. And a lot of people, I should say a lot of controllers, a lot of people who don't actually care about you, who have control issues, they'll immediately be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Okay, that's fine. And they'll pretend to actually care about you, but really what they're going to try to do is wear you down over time. People who apologize but don't change are controllers. People who apologize but don't change are oftentimes abusers. People who apologize and don't change aren't worthy to be dated. So bye-bye. That's really the best answer that you can give, is really to get them out of your life and find someone who's actually going to love you, who's going to love you, respect you, and give you what you desire. That's true love. True love gives to another person, even if it's hard, even if it's a sacrifice, even if it doesn't make sense, even, you know what, if it's important to you and it's a good thing and it's a really good for you, then I'm going to want that for you too. That's true love. Everything else is the opposite. It's selfish. It's what I want. It's what I can get. And if you can't get it to me, I'm going to keep pressuring you until you do. And that, my friends, is never love. Somebody might say, well, we've been together for so long. Don't you think it's time? You could respond by saying, nope, when there is a ring on my finger and we are in a honeymoon suite after making our lifelong vows, then it'll be time. Before that, it's not time. However, if you really want me and you think I'm important in your life and you want to tie that knot, I'm ready. Hint, hint. Some people might really get rude to you and just say, you know what? You're uptight and you're just really tense. You need to loosen up and live a little bit. And you could respond by saying, there's already a lot of loose women out there. I don't want to be one of them, but thank you. Really? That's what they're asking you to do, to be more loose. That's not a real man, and no real man would ever ask you that or tell you that. That's another dumpable. Dumpable, is that a word? It's now a word, dumpable. If he says something like that, dump him. Get rid of him. Have some self-respect and find someone who's actually going to love you. Honestly, you'll see at that point whether they love you and respect you and want to help you to come closer to God, or whether they just want to use you. If you could imagine your sexuality like $1 million, and it's supposed to be for marriage, you're supposed to get to the honeymoon suite and have the rest of your life to spend it together. However, people who love you want you to keep that $1 million. People who don't love you want to take it for themselves, take it at any cost, pressuring you to give it away. But really, people who love you want you to keep it, and they want to share it with you at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, in marriage, for the sake of love. Now, some people might really throw some pressure on you and say like, hey, it's my birthday. Don't you think I should get some? Or it's Valentine's Day. Or it's the prom. I mean, I bought you dinner. I spent all this money. I spent like $100 on you tonight. And you could be like, my body and myself is priceless. I'm priceless. You think that I'm a cost of a dinner? You think that I'm the cost of a few flowers and a night out? No, I'm priceless. If you want this body and if you want this woman, then put a ring on the finger and give me happily ever after, because that is the only price and that is the only gate by which you will walk through to get that. I mean, if you stand up like that for yourself and you make that clear right away, guys will either really respect that or they're going to be like, wow, she's really serious. I'm out. And you want to get rid of those guys. See, this protects you and helps you to find love. It protects you from finding losers. It protects you from finding people who don't actually care about you. Somebody would be like, well, somebody could respond all sassy and say, what, do you want to be a virgin your whole life? You can be like, no, not at all. Just until I'm married. Lastly, I mean, there's many more, but lastly, we'll just use this one. Some people say, well, it's just fun. Sex is sex. It's no big deal. To which you can respond, it's no big deal. If the person I'm dating doesn't understand how monumentally awesome, beautiful, and life-transforming sex is, then I don't want to be with this person. Sex is not just sex, and it's not just fun. Video games are fun. Board games are fun. Sex is something so much more beautiful, so much more dynamic, so much more God-given. It's not just fun. And someone who doesn't understand that, I don't really want to be with. I don't want to be with a person who thinks sex is casual, who thinks it's recreation. I mean, prostitutes and other people who don't respect themselves have sex that way. I am much more worth than that. And I can't believe that you would insult me and degrade me and lower me down to that level. I mean, really, that's what they're doing. So call them out on it. Tell them they're degrading you and tell you to keep you up here as the princess you are. And if you're a guy watching this video and you're being pressured by women to have sex, you can use these too, just kind of adapt it a little bit, but they basically will work. Watch this video again and again and again. Learn these arguments. And if you want, I'll make a blog out of this. I'll put them all in a blog post and you can print them out and just refer to them anytime you want, but they're there for you. So here's the question of the day. First of all, which one of these have you heard before? Which of you heard many times? Put them down in the comment section below. And how did you respond? I would be curious to know that. Do you have responses? Did you like my responses? Or do you think there would be better responses that you could do? Feel free to put them down below in the comments. Keep the conversation going. And as always, thank you for watching. And make sure to subscribe to this channel if you like these videos and you want to see more of them. Thanks for watching and God bless you.